Hello and welcome to Simply Spirit. My name is Jen, and this week we are going to be talking about the chakras. Some people say chakras, some people say chakras, so however you say it is totally up to you and totally fine. So, what we're going to be talking about is what does the word chakra mean, or what does the chakras mean? How do we know if they're balanced or not? And what do we do when they're not balanced? And why do we need them to be balanced? So, there's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about. So, the word chakra actually means wheel, or you may hear a spinning disc. And the way that I like to think of this as hi, Shannon. Hi, Robin. So how I like to think of this is when I think of my chakras, I think of how are they spinning? Are they spinning clockwise or are they spinning counterclockwise? So a balanced chakra will actually spin clockwise versus counterclockwise. And it may spin, hi everyone. It may spin really slow, or it may spin really fast, or maybe at a medium pace, depending on if your chakra is out of balance or not. So there are a lot of different chakras in the body. There's over 100, but tonight we're going to focus on at least the 7, but we're also going to talk about the palm chakras. The palm chakras are also very important, and I'm going to show you something that you can do to kind of see if you can kind of balance your hand chakras really. So the palm or hand chakras, which is your hands, the colors that they're associated with is red or gold. Now there is another chakra that's also associated with red, but that's okay. Now the reds can be in varying shades. You may be more drawn to a bright red, or you may see a darker red for the chakra. It really just depends, and it's up to you, and it's totally fine. It's totally okay. Whatever color that you're seeing is totally fine. If you're seeing something that's kind of dull though, your chakra might be a little balanced and it may need a little bit of a cleansing, so to speak. So just be aware of that. So when it comes to the hand chakras, if they are blocked, your hands may feel numb, you may feel not as creative, or you may not feel connected to to other people or even to the world. And one of the ways that you can actually help to balance that is the way that we also do it in Reiki, which is create an energy ball. And you do that simply by rubbing your hands together and then holding them apart and kind of moving them like this. You can actually feel the energy between your hands. Now, you can do this often and see how far you can get your energy bubble to expand. Now, I have a large energy ball because I do this a lot, and it's something that it actually just comes really natural. I don't even have to rub my hands together. Like, I can just do this and I feel the energy in my hands. Something else that you can do to kind of activate your chakras in your hands is just to tap on your hands. Just tap on the palms, and this kind of opens them up, activates your hands, activates those chakras, and you're ready to go. So that's a little extra chakra that we really weren't going to cover tonight, but I wanted to go ahead because I think that one is just as important as the rest. So the chakras are all connected to different parts of our body. They're connected to our main organs. They're also connected to our emotions and the way that we interact with people. So, when one of them is out of alignment, it can throw a lot of other things off too. But you don't always have to have all of the chakras out of alignment. You may only have one. One of the most interesting things, and we're going to be talking about that chakra tonight too, is the heart chakra. It is the center point for all of the chakras, and when the heart chakra isn't balanced, it also means that we don't have our upper and our lower chakras connected. And I am very guilty of that. I'm one that likes to work with my upper chakras a lot, but I don't ever like to really connect my lower chakras, and I have to be aware of that. And we'll get into why that happens in just a little bit. So one of the first chakras that we are going to talk about, other than the palms, is the root chakras, or the root chakra itself. Now, the root chakra is located at the base of the spine. And that color, again, is red. I mean, we talked about the hand chakra where you can use red as that for that chakra as well, but you can also use this one. Now, the symbol for this is a 4-petal lotus flower. And if you want to look those up online, or I will post them on the page, or if you're in my group, I will post some of this in the group where you can actually look at the flower, and I'll also post some other information that I'm going to be going over here because I can't very well hold up, how to do a yoga pose, so I will post those in the group and on the page. So this chakra actually rules the legs, the feet, elimination, and adrenals. And if you, on a side note, if you think about the negativity that you have and it going down, right? So when we have negative energy, when we're in the middle of a meditation, what do? We send all of that negative energy into the ground, or if we're in the shower, we send it all down the drain. And that's kind of how to think about this. Like, you want your root to be really strong and really stable. And if it's not, then, everything else falls apart. I mean, if you think about a house, we have to have a sturdy foundation in order to build from there. And that's really with anything that you're going to do, especially with especially in the spiritual world or anything else, but just even in just regular life, you need a good foundation to kind of build upon in order to do other things. So kind of think of it that way. Now, this element is earth. And hi, Lisa. Hi, Donna. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Rosetta. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy all of you are here. Hi, Julie. So when it comes to the earth, one of the great things that you can do when you think about the root chakra and you're just kind of feeling off that day is to go outside if you can. Going outside and walking on the earth is one of the greatest things in the world. It doesn't cost you anything and you can do it anytime. Unless it's really cold and unless you really want to go out there and walk in the snow. I mean, hey, the choice is yours. But if you don't, you can do that. But you can also stand in your house and plant your feet on the floor. Just take your socks off, take your shoes off, stand on the floor and visualize your feet going down into the ground and growing some roots. That is the one way that you can ground. And when you're in the middle of meditation, when you're in the middle of doing anything, like if you're in the shower, just visualize all of the gunk from the day going down into the ground or down into the earth. Hi, Scotty. Down into to the earth and letting go. I mean, that's really what it's for. So when you don't feel grounded or you don't feel stable in your environment or you don't feel secure, then your chakra is really unbalanced. And when you feel that you don't have the support that you need, again, we're talking about the foundation, and this comes with anything. You need the foundation to do anything. And once you have a good, strong foundation, then you can build from there up. But without that, everything else is going to crumble. No matter what else you do, no matter what other chakra you work on or anything else, if you don't have that first chakra rooted and grounded, then nothing else is going to work well for you. So when this chakra is balanced, you will feel grounded. You're going to feel stable. You're going to feel secure. You're going to feel like all of your needs are being met. And what do I mean by needs? I'm not talking about just having food and water and a roof over your head. I'm talking about your emotional needs too. And that's something that we all are guilty of doing. We give and give and give and give, and we don't ask for anything in return. And sometimes we need to do that. We need to make sure that our needs are met just as much as everybody else's needs are met. So some other things that you might want to look at if your root chakra is balanced, you might have physical issues like arthritis. You may have problems with constipation. You may have bladder or colon problems. Now, this doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, I have one day of this happening and the whole world is ending and my chakra is unbalanced. That's not what I'm saying. You may have a couple of days of this, and you might want to look into that. But I would also suggest that you go to your doctor. I mean, always go and get things checked out first and rule everything out there, and then if everything is good there, then start looking at the chakras, because your medical team is going to be the first person that you really want to go to when looking at things like this, unless it's a temporary thing and you know it's temporary. So some things that you can do to balance that if you are having problems with constipation and everything else is take a look at the diet. So eating things that are red, like your apples, your beets, tomatoes, pomegranates, strawberries, raspberries, and also root vegetables. Don't forget those. I mean, think about it. The root vegetable and the root chakra. I mean, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand there. So think about sweet potatoes or potatoes, carrots, turnips, beets, garlic, parsnips, onions, ginger, and turmeric. Now, and also think about spices. When it comes to spices, what are your earthy spices? I mean, that's what you really want to look at. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can find online and in books and stuff, but really trust yourself. What really works for you? Because what works for you may be different for somebody else. And it's totally okay. It's totally okay. You don't have to go by what is in a book. You don't have to use what your friend Sally uses. You can use what's best for you. Wearing the color red is a great way to kind of give you a boost. Red is a power color. You may see a lot of people who are in business and, you know, those kind of things, or maybe a lot of speakers, and they're wearing the color red. That's because it's a power color and it gives them a boost of confidence. And that's really what you need when it comes to the root chakra is balance for that is, confidence. You know, you want to be confident, you want to be secure, in all that you do. And another thing that you might want to do is carry a red stone, like a red agate. But there are other kind of stones too. There are other red stones that you can use. Don't limit yourself to just one. Find what works for you. If you find carrying a crystal quartz works, by all means, then use that. So meditation, you're going to hear me say meditation a lot. Because I'm a firm believer in meditation being part of your everyday. I mean, not only does it help you with stress and anxiety and help you to sleep and everything else to clear the mind, all that good stuff, but it will also help you with your chakras and to kind of help them be balanced. And if you're into yoga, even if you do one yoga pose for each of the chakras, one of the poses that you can do is child's pose, seated hero, mountain, or down dog. So something else that I like to do when it comes to this chakra or any of the chakras is if I'm working with one in particular, I like to create a meditation space or an altar, so to speak, for the chakra that I'm working with. And if I'm working with all of them, well, then it becomes pretty big. But if I'm working with one in particular, we'll start with the root chakra. So what I'm going to have on this altar is red candles. I'm going to have some other things that are red. Maybe it's red flowers, or, you know, I may have some spices on there, you know, whatever it happens to be, whatever I'm drawn to. Yeah, meditation is mine too, Devin. So, whatever you happen to be drawn to, you know, put on that space, because that's really what is going to resonate with you. And sit there with meditation and see if you can't tune into what is causing you to be unbalanced. And another thing that you're going to find that I'm really passionate about is journaling. And journaling about that experience, you know, finding out. And nobody's going to know what you put in that journal unless you tell them. So be open, be honest with yourself, and follow your heart and just write whatever comes to you. Why is it that you feel insecure? Is there something that happened to you as a kid, or did you have a relationship, you know, as an adult where you just weren't heard, or you weren't, you know, you didn't feel safe, you know, whatever it is, write all of that down, because it's very important. And once you start to identify what it is that is causing you to feel that way, that's when you can take the steps necessary to change all of that. Now, not everybody, we're not going to be perfect all the time. We're not going to have every chakra balanced every single day or all the time, and that's okay. We're human. Like I said before, my upper and lower chakras, they're not always connected every single day, and that's something that I work at doing, is to make sure that those are connected. And the way that you do that is by getting to know yourself, getting to know how you feel. And if you get a lot of headaches, like I get a lot of migraines. So keep a journal of that. Write down, when you have that, or if you have constipation a lot, write that down. Write down the days that you're having that and see if you can't start to see a pattern. But like, again, always check with your doctor first. And if there's nothing medically wrong that they can find, then start to look at the chakras and start to look at your emotions and the things that you're feeling and you're doing, because a lot of that can be all connected. So, and that goes for any of these chakras, not just for the root chakra, but all the other ones that we're going to be talking about tonight. That goes for any of them. So the next chakra that we're going to be moving on to is the sacral chakra. Now that is the second chakra, and the meaning for this chakra is the inner dwelling place. And this is located below the navel, and the color is orange. And this symbol is a 6-petal lotus flower. So again, look for an image online, or I'll find one and I'll post it on the page. So this way you can download it. And something else too, if you want something to visualize when you're doing a meditation, or you just want something to kind of remind you about your chakras, is put a picture of it on your phone or on your computer or on Pinterest. And, if you have time once a day, just scroll through and look at those. So it kind of puts a reminder of what you're doing, and trying to keep, in check. Do I have a favorite or less favorite chakra? I love the upper ones, because I always seem to neglect the other ones. But the moment that I do realize what I'm doing, I do get everything into balance. But I can't say I really have a favorite. I tend to favor my crown chakra a lot. But I think that comes natural when you're a psychic medium. I think you just have a tendency to do that. At least I know I do. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I know I do. So, but anyways, back to the sacral chakra. This chakra rules the reproductive organs, and this is not just for women, it's for men too. So, if you're having problems in these areas, and again, you've had it medically checked out and everything is fine, then you might want to start looking at some other things too. So this element is water. And water is amazing. I mean, all the elements are amazing. Water, when I think of water, I think of the emotions. And water is also very healing. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't want to cry. Well, crying can be one of the most healing processes that you can go through. And there's nothing wrong with letting that emotion out. If you've had something tragic happen, or you're just having a bad day, or whatever it happens to be, and you feel like crying, just cry, because it's very therapeutic, and it can release a lot of that pent up energy that you don't need. Yeah, Tasha, I can see that. Yeah. My third eye works a lot too. So your heart chakra and crowns, yes. Yeah, it is. The heart space is a very much like a gateway, and the heart space is actually the middle ground, and will be one of the indicators of how you can tell that you are out of balance in some of the others. So yes, yeah. So the qualities of this chakra is receptivity, creativity, pleasure, um, those kind of things. But if your chakra is blocked, you may have trouble with creativity. You may have trouble with pleasure, and some of the other things that you might experience too is a lot of urinary tract infections, or you may have a lot of lower back pain. Think of when you feel stress, and most people carry stress either in their back or in their neck. Mine seems to be in my neck. Um, but I know some people always say that, yeah, Brian, I agree. I agree. I think we all seem to deal with our crown chakra. I don't think we ever, I think some of us shut it off, like close it at the end of the day, and some of us don't. And one of the things that I do sometimes is when I'm getting ready to do work and I need to do a lot of psychic work, is I will like open the chakra, the crown chakra. It's kind of like, I know some people talk about it as like they have hinges at the top of their head and they just visualize it unscrewing, and then it opens up and everything goes in, and then when they're done working with the chakras or whatever it is they're doing, they close that back. um oh, well, thank you. Oh, you're replying to Tasha. Got you. Anyways, um emotionally, if you have a blocked sacral chakra, you may have a lack of self-worth, um, which is very possible. I mean, self-worth is with a lot of things. I also think that connects to like the root chakra too, because if your self-worth is damaged, I think a lot of your chakras are going to be damaged. I think you're going to have not just this one, but that one as well, but also your heart and everything else. So it's something to kind of think about. But foods that can help balance this chakra is things that are orange, like carrots and mango and oranges and peppers, peaches, apricots, sweet potatoes. Things that are rich in omega-3s like salmon. Now, salmon is not my first choice. I'm not a seafood person, so I would rely on nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, those kind of things that are going to um, be really good with, that has a lot of omega-3s in it. That's really what you want to look for. And coconut and spices such as cinnamon. Cinnamon is a fire spice, but it's also really good to get things started. And you also want to drink a lot of water. Like water is another good thing for this, but it's also really great for the body. Like water flushes out all the toxins in the body, whether it's you know, you have a urinary tract infection, a kidney infection, whatever it is, it helps to flush out the system. It's good for digestion, it's good for the skin, it's good for everything. I mean, most of the body is made up of water anyways, and so we need that water. But, just as with anything, you can have too much of a good thing, just as you can have too much of something bad. You want to keep that in balance. And one of the things that you can do besides wear orange a lot, right? Orange is almost close to, it's a orange, depending on the shade, can be a warm shade or it can be on the cooler side. So depending if you're going for the more pastel orange, you're going to be if you're going to be on the cooler side, the lighter the shades, the pastel shades, those are the cooler sides. Those are like your springs, and even some of your summers, but your summer and everything else is going to be more of a warmer tone. So kind of think of that. So everybody thinks, oh my gosh, I can't wear colors. I can't wear this color. I can't wear that color. And that's the reason why I wanted to bring this up, because you absolutely can. Just trust what your skin tone is, where you are. And if you don't know, ask somebody what it is. Whether it's, because again, everybody can wear all of these colors. So just because you think, oh my gosh, I can't wear orange, I can't wear red, I can't wear yellow, I can't wear this color, I can't wear that color, keep in mind that you can. You absolutely can, just depending, just trust, are you a summer? Are you a spring? Are you a fall? Are you a winter? Kind of thing. But something else that you can do is carry orange stones. And one of those great stones that you can carry is coral. And for the yoga pose, it's the frog pose. Now, there are other poses out there. I'm just kind of giving you at least one example of something that you can do as far as yoga goes. And I also want to give a shout out to my moderators tonight, Devin Evans and Greg Cost. I appreciate you so much. They are helping me out with the page and helping me keep up with comments and stuff. So I know I keep seeing um, myself replying to somebody and I'm not replying. My moderators are. And again, I appreciate you and thank you so much for doing that for me tonight. Last week when we had the first episode, there were some people who were who were making comments that really shouldn't have been making comments, and they offered to help me this week to kind of help that with that, and with every episode, and I greatly appreciate that. So just want to love you too, Devin. I know you do, and I got your back too. But I just wanted to let everybody know who was on the other side making some comments. So the next one we're going to go to is the solar plexus. It is the third chakra. And the meaning of this is city of gems, right? And so this is located from the navel, from the center of the navel up to the sternum. And this is the 10-petal yellow lotus flower. The color is yellow, obviously, and it rules digestion. Boy, I'm having problems talking tonight. Woohoo! Digestion and pancreas. The element is fire. And the qualities of this one is vitality, determination, conscious action, and divine will. Take care of your uncle. Whoever uncle is not feeling well, I hope they are. Sending all of that out. I'm the phantom. That has to be Greg. So okay, back to the solar plexus. If this chakra is blocked, you may have digestive issues, or like ulcers or heartburn, eating disorders, those kind of things. And this is our personal power chakra, meaning it's related to our self-confidence, our self-esteem. Again, you think about not just as an adult how this can affect us, but even as a child. If there's things that happen to us as children, it can affect how we see ourselves or view ourselves today. And sometimes it's easy to kind of change that, and sometimes it isn't. And if you need somebody to talk to so that you can get rid of the issues that you're having, then by all means, I encourage that. I think that's great to be able to do. I think once you start to realize that, it can really change a lot of things for you. It damages your personal truth. When somebody else tells you, if you grew up and somebody was telling you that, you're never going to be anything in life, or you're not good enough, or whatever it happens to be, that damages your personal truth. And that takes a lot to erase that. Some people talk about physical abuse and versus mental and verbal abuse. And the physical abuse will heal. You tend to heal from that a lot easier and a lot quicker than you do the mental and emotional abuse. That takes a lot more finesse, and it takes a lot more of breaking that cycle, because in your mind, that's all you're hearing on a daily basis. So that's what you're telling. So one thing to look at is, if this chakra is not balanced, is what are you telling yourself? You know, really ask yourself, be honest with yourself, you know. Nobody else is going to know, you know, unless you decide to tell them. So just be honest with yourself. What do you tell yourself every day? What do you say to yourself? Do you say to yourself what you've heard growing up? Do you say to yourself what your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend used to say to you? I mean, seriously, take a look at that. You know, what they said has nothing to do with you. What they said or what they did has everything to do with them. So, something to kind of keep in mind and to think about. So, foods that will help you to balance your chakra is things that are yellow: bananas and pineapple and corn and lemons and yellow curry. And the same thing. Yeah, you do have to go with your gut instinct on a lot of different things. I agree. Um, so other things too that you can eat is oats and brown rice, vegetables and sprouted grains. Wearing yellow is great. Now, I also think of going outside in the sunshine. You know, being outside can do wonders for anybody. You know, whether it's even for just 5 minutes a day, that can give you like the biggest boost that you will ever need. I know that being outside makes me happy. Seeing the sunshine makes me happy. Hearing the birds. I mean, those are the things that really make me happy when I start to get to the point where I'm kind of sad at, you know, waiting for spring to get here, because I absolutely love spring. I love seeing everything starting to bloom and the little baby animals running around. I love it. So, you know, that's something that I love. So when I know that I'm starting to feel a little sad, or like, you know, spring's not getting here fast enough, then I go outside. You know, that's where I head. And when it gets springtime, I'm always outside. I mean, that's just where I want to be. So kind of do something like that, because that's what I think of. And if you do live in an area where you don't get a lot of sunlight, there are lamps that will provide that for you, and it does a world of good. It's really good for your mental health too. So something to kind of keep in mind. So when it comes to yoga poses, yes, summertime bird singing, I agree. I love it. It's so funny because when our windows are open, so we don't have to turn on the AC or anything, but in the spring when the windows are open, the birds will start singing and they come up to the window, and it's like, you guys are just calling me out to play. And it's like, you know, I have a ton of things I have to get done, but what do? I go outside. It's like never fails. They win every single time. It's like I go outside and I spend my time outside. Do I get anything else done? Nope, not at all. True story. So when it comes to yoga, boat pose is really good. Something you might want to try. And when it comes to crystals, citrine. Now, citrine is also good for a number of other things too. If you have a business, you might want to place a piece of citrine in your cash register. It does help for that. Or if you want to place it by your computer, if that's what kind of work you do, which most of us do, you can actually place it there too. So, and again, if you're going to set up any kind of meditation space or any kind of altar, place things that are yellow on there, and you know, just meditate with that. And if you can't find a yellow candle, use a white candle. A white candle can be used for anything, unless you decide you want to use a brown candle. That's okay too. Use what you have. Nobody is going to fault you for that. It's really the intention and the visualization that you're going to be doing. When you're in meditation and you start to look at each of the chakras, you'll start to notice, are they spinning slow? If they're spinning slow, they might be just a little sluggish. Are they spinning fast? Then you might want to kind of slow them down. So something to kind of think about with that. When it comes to the heart chakra, as I said, the heart chakra is our middle ground chakra. It's the chakra that will tell you if you have connected your chakras. And If you haven't connected your chakras, you're going to be the one who is always giving to somebody else. And even when you don't really want to do something, you're still saying yes, and you're still going and giving, even when you're beyond exhausted. And I know some of us are guilty of that, especially parents. We're very guilty of that because we feel like we need to just keep doing and keep going in order to get things done. So the heart chakra is our fourth chakra, and the meaning is unstruck. The location is the heart center, which is right here in your chest. Think of the heart. The color is green. Now, when it comes to this chakra, it can also be pink. So don't think that you have to use green all the time or you have to wear pink all the time. It's entirely up to you. You can use pink crystals, you can use green crystals. It's entirely up to you on what you use. But the symbol for this one is the 12 petal green lotus flower. Now, again, if you want to make it pink, make it pink. Whatever, because it's entirely up to you. This crystal that is connected to this is the rose quartz, which is why I say, you can use pink because rose quartz is pink. So this heart this heart chakra, it actually rules the heart, the lungs, the respiratory system, the thymus, and the element is air. And, be outside on a windy day. I think that will also be really good for the heart chakra. Do something fun. Do something that's going to make you laugh. When you laugh, it makes you happy, and that makes your heart happy, and why not, right? Exercise is another good thing. If that makes you happy, then do that. Do what makes you happy. Because I don't think there's anything that you can do wrong when it comes to that to make yourself happy. That's one of the most important things. Yes. Hey, Deanna, how are ya? Yeah, Moldavite is amazing. I actually just got a Moldavite, and I know that Devin just got one too, and there's a few others that have just purchased a Moldavite, and it's amazing. So when it comes to the heart chakra, um, the qualities is love, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness. And when it comes to forgiveness, people say, "Well, I have a hard time forgiving people," and really, forgiveness isn't about letting go of what they did. I mean, you are going to let go of the action, but the forgiveness is really, when you forgive somebody, it's really for you. It's not for them. When you don't forgive somebody, you remain chained to their energy, and who wants to keep all of that negative energy with you? Let it go. Keep the lesson. Remember what happened, but let go of the rest. Not for them, for your own peace of mind. So that's something to consider. If you have an unbalanced chakra, you may have heart problems, you may have asthma, you may have weight issues. And, some of that, again, you're going to go and make sure that you have that checked out first, because, your doctor's advice and opinion is more valuable than whether or not your chakra is balanced or not. If you don't find anything wrong in those areas, then take a look at all the other stuff. So when it comes to this chakra, you may feel that you are insecure or you're lonely. So what makes you feel insecure? Stop and think about it. Again, we're going to go back to what happened as a kid or what happened in a past relationship. What happened that made you feel that way? Is there a specific person who made you feel that way? No, Katie, you didn't miss it, honey. You didn't miss it at all. So, kind of look at that, and that will start to answer some of your questions for you. And a lot of times when you're an empath, you may be feeling somebody else's energy. And I know we've talked about this, at least in the Psychics Unite meeting, we've talked about being an empath and how we connect to other people's energy. And That's one of the things of know yourself, as Devin has said, as Scotty has said, as many people have said, know yourself and how you're feeling. Is it your energy? Is it somebody else's energy? You know, if you're feeling insecure and you know you're not really an insecure person, really stop and think and decide, is this your energy? Is it not? And if it's not yours, release it. And how do you release it? Let it go into the ground. Just release it. You know, just say, hey, this isn't mine. I'm not keeping it. It's time to go. Basically, just give it the boot. So that's something to kind of think about too. So again, this is where your upper and lower chakras connect. If they aren't connected, these are the kind of things that you'll be doing. You'll be always constantly giving and giving and giving and giving until, you know, you're down and out. Foods that are going to balance this chakra. Think of green raw foods, you know, like organic greens. Think about lettuce and celery and those kind of things. Making, you know, juice that's green from your veggies. If you don't like eating raw vegetables, just make it into a smoothie. Add some of that in there. You know, that's a great way to do it. And even for kids, you know, kind of sneak some veggies in their foods. They'll never know it. You know, that kind of thing. I love it, Keith. You walk wobbly if your chakra isn't balanced. That's probably true. Thanks for that. Okay, guys. Now Keith says that we walk wobbly if it's not balanced. So make sure if you're walking wobbly to check all of your chakras. I am just joking. But it is kind of funny. So something else that you can do, some other foods that you can eat is kale and broccoli, spinach, dandelion greens, and you know, you find those in the spring. Just make sure you find them where dogs haven't already started to pee all over them and all that kind of good stuff. Make sure there's no pesticides on those dandelions. If you find a place where you can get dandelions that you know doesn't use any kind of pesticides, those are great for that. You can use those in salads. You can make tea out of those. I mean, there's so many different things that you can use dandelions for, and they are very healthy. There's a lot of things out in the wild that we can eat that has great benefits for all of us. And cucumbers, zucchini, green tea. I mean, we're all, you know, there's a lot of us who are tea drinkers. I'm one of them. I love to drink tea. So you could even do that. Lime, mint, kiwi. Now, what we do here is we add a cucumber and mint, a lemon, and what else is in that? A lemon and mint. And ginger. We add that and we mix that in with water. And sometimes I drink a glass of it, sometimes I don't, but Steve likes to drink that a lot. Me, I just like lemon or mint in my water. So, but wearing green is something. And Deanna, I know you'll relate to this because we went to a school where it was green and white. So we're South Ripley colors. I know you'll get that reference. So actually our school colors were green and white. So that's why I referenced that. Rose quartz for the crystal, and a cat pose. So that's another good pose that you can do when it comes to yoga. Again, think of your spices. You know, what do you relate to the heart chakra? Think about that. Think of your colors, you know, warm colors, cool colors, you know, that kind of thing. Go by what your skin tone is, your hair color is. And yeah, exactly. So if you don't know, you know, ask a friend, you know, what color looks best on you. Or do you look good in pastels? Do you look good in bright colors? You know, that kind of thing. So check that out. Next, we're going to move on to the throat chakra, which is our 5th chakra. And the meaning for this chakra is purification. And the location, obviously, is the throat. So the color is going to be sky blue, 16 petals, sky blue lotus flower. Now this rules the throat, the neck, the endocrine system, the thyroid, and the element is space. Now, you might have heard, I know I say it a lot, you speak your truth, and I find that so hard to, true, that when you don't speak your truth, then your chakra is normally blocked. And speaking your truth is saying exactly what it is that you want to say and not really holding back. I mean, there's a way that you can do it without crushing somebody's soul. And Devin does that beautifully. Um, she may need to teach all of us how to do that. So we don't crush somebody's soul. But you can do that. You can speak your truth and be honest and be clear without destroying another person. So some of the things that you may have problems with if it's unbalanced is throat problems, such as you may have a lot of sore throats. You may have problems with your teeth, your gums, those kind of things. And you may also dominate conversations. You may gossip a lot, or you may speak without even thinking. And again, you have trouble speaking your mind. And, sometimes when speaking without thinking, I think I've done that a time or two. I'm, whatever comes out of my mouth just happens to come out of my mouth. I'm very honest a lot of times. So if you ask me a question, I promise you I will answer it. You may not like my answer, but I will answer it, and I will answer honestly. So, oh, you're so welcome, Devin. I mean, you say everything in such a way that people get the message without feeling like they've had their soul stomped on. So, Candy, that's good. That's really good. Keep doing that. Always speak your truth, always speak your mind. And, some people are going to be offended, but, that's on them. That's not really on you. But there are ways that we can do it to where we're not crushing somebody's soul and making them feel worse than what they need to. But sometimes, we need to step up and say, hey, you need to suck it up and do what you need to do. Or you need to stop doing this, because the more you do this, the more other things are going to happen that you don't want. So anyway, some things to keep this chakra in balance is going to be blueberries and blackberries, coconut water, herbal teas, raw honey, and lemon. These are really good. Wearing turquoise or carrying a turquoise crystal is going to be really good for this. And the cobra pose is another good yoga position that you can try. And there are meditations specifically just for each of these. I know, Robin, you are amazing. I just love you. I love you. You're always so honest and straightforward and to the point. It's just, I love it. I think you're just amazing. So, anyways, again, if you want to set up an altar, there are certain, little things that you can do for that. Your third eye, your sixth chakra. Now, I know some people who have been working on this third eye chakra, and I know we did a chant on one of those in one of my in one of the meetings that I did. And there are some meditations that you can find online to where you can begin to open your third eye chakra. And it's really, the meaning for this chakra is wisdom, and it's right here between the brows, right there. The color is indigo. It rules the sight, the senses, the nervous system, the pituitary gland, and again, the element is space. Aww, I love you, Robin. I just love her. I miss her. Your qualities: intuition, wisdom, clarity, and vision. And so when you're with your third eye, you're going to start seeing It's also connected to like your clairvoyance. So you're going to start seeing a lot more of the little movies that are going by connected to, again, like it says, your intuition. Um, so you're going to see a lot more visions, and visualization is really good to help develop the third eye and opening that up. Also, a lot of foods are really good for that, and recalling things. What did you do a week from, a week from today? What did you do back then? What did you do last year on this day? If you're going to a place, one of the things I think is really important to do if you're really trying to work on your third eye is to, if you're going to a new location, write down everything that you think is going to happen or things that you might see in this location. For instance, we're going to be going to Tennessee sometime this year, and before we go, I'm going to write down some things. And Julie, pay very close attention because I'm going to have you doing this too. Because Julie is going to be going with us. And I want you to write down whatever you think that cabin is going to look like, things that we're going to do, all the things. Just like I'm going to do that too. And everybody can do this. No matter where it is that you're going, no matter what it is that you're doing, write down what you think you're going to see that day. Write down what you think is going to happen that day. Take it with you and see if those things match up. It's one way to kind of start strengthening that, your third eye, and making it stronger and making it better. Meditation is going to be your first one. And again, meditation doesn't have to be something that you spend hours doing. You can do 5 minutes at a time if you need to. You can do a minute. If you're just starting out, just do a few seconds. That's really all you need to do. Something else that you can do when you're on the road and you're kind of bored and you're wanting something to do is think of a set of numbers and see what happens, or letters. It can be numbers, it can be letters, it can be colors. What kind of car do you think you're going to see? Those kind of things. See how many of those start to play out. It's kind of a fun little game. You can do it even with your kids. Give them a set of numbers and say, hey, yes, Paul, that number, or think of words along the way and see how many times you find that word. There are a lot of different things, or a color of a car. How many of those do you see? A lot of times when I've done this very activity, like not even 5 cars go by and I'm finding exactly what I've asked for, whether it be on a stop sign or a license plate, or any number of different things. So kind of look for that, and it's kind of a good way to kind of strengthen that muscle a little bit. Some of the things that you can do when it comes to, I think we've already done what you're supposed to eat, but you can also, you can have cacao, which is the raw form of chocolate. And I've actually had that, and at first it's kind of slimy, but once you get that past that initial thing, it's really good. And wearing purple is something you can do throughout the day. Purple is an amazing color, and amazonite, amazonite for the crystal is something that you can carry. For the yoga pose is a dolphin. Now, here's something else I want to point out when it comes to crystals. If you don't have a particular crystal, that doesn't mean that you can't carry a crystal. Choose a crystal to work with. Crystal quartz is a really good one to work with. You can actually program that crystal for any number of different things. Crystal quartz is something that I tend to gravitate towards. I mean, there are a few others, but if I'm going to only be able to take one crystal, it's going to be a crystal quartz. And that's because I can use that for anything, whether it be protection, whether it be meditation, whether it be, my chakras or whatever it happens to be. That is something that I can carry with me all the time. And another thing is, if you don't have, if you can't purchase crystals right now, you can always have one on your phone. Like, take a picture of one on your phone and look at that. You can still connect in the same way. It's all about your intent of doing things. Just as somebody who's doing Reiki, we can still connect online and still feel the energies going to each person. It's how we do long distance healing. So, something to kind of think about. Now we're going to go to the last chakra, which is the crown chakra. And the meaning is infinite. And obviously it's located at the crown of your head. The color is ultraviolet. Now, some people will connect this chakra to white. Some people will connect this chakra to purple. Some people use even indigo for this. So it's entirely up to you and how you connect to this chakra. Again, we're going to go with 1,000-petal lotus flower. It's connected. It rules all the systems. I mean, through the entire body. This is what rules everything in your body. I do readings. I do chakra readings. I do mediumship readings and card readings, Akashic readings, past life. I do a lot of things. If you want to go to my website, it's jenhodgson.com. You can find out about all the readings that I offer and how to book a reading from there. But this chakra is connected to our life's purpose. And, if it's blocked, you may feel narrow-minded or stubborn or even skeptical. So when it comes to your life's purpose, the way that I like to look at this is what sets your soul on fire? What is it that you like to do? I have a lot of people who will come up to me and say, well, yeah, I like to do this. It's my hobby. I wish it could be my full-time job because this is what I really love to do. Then do it. The only thing holding you back is you. Go out and do what it is that you want to do. Find what sets your soul on fire and go for it. And there are some ways that you can go about doing that. Just write down what it is you like to do. What is it that you do as a hobby that you can spend the rest of your life doing that makes you happy? And for me, how I figured out what my soul purpose was, other than to help people. Like, I always knew I was meant to help people, right? But I'm also a paranormal investigator, and our group, Professional Paranormal Investigations, does presentations at local libraries. And when I'm in front of a group of people and I'm talking and I'm answering people's questions about how to develop their gifts as a psychic or a medium, or how to do any number of things, whatever it happens to be that they're asking me, I really light up. And when that happened, I knew what I was supposed to be doing. There was no question about it. And when I had people coming to me over and over and over asking me, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? I knew what I was supposed to be doing. And so I switched my focus and started doing exactly that. It varies on the cost. Again, you'll just have to go to the website and kind of check that out from there. So back to this chakra. To balance this chakra, you're going to be focusing on a lot of different things. you're going to be flushing out toxins, as we were talking about earlier with water, how that kind of flushes everything out. And that's so very true. Getting rid of toxins in the body is one of the great ways that you can do. There are natural herbs and stuff that you can take in order to help process and release all of those toxins, but by eating the right foods is also going to be very beneficial. So the more balanced that you are with your diet, it's going to help you to stay balanced with this chakra. And in doing so, you're really going to help yourself to be balanced with other chakras, all the rest of them too. So that's something you can do. Some of the herbs or essential oils that you can use for this chakra or any of the other chakras is sage and lavender, frankincense, and juniper. They are really great for balancing this chakra. Don't forget your incenses too. I mean, there's a lot of great things that you can use when it comes to balancing each chakra, from candles to meditation to eating foods, drinking things, spices, your essential oils, your yoga. You know, all those things in combination can help you. Wearing the right color, the right shade, you know, and I guess the reason why I'm so adamant about this or so passionate about this is because certain colors can make you or break you, right? So if you are a spring like me and you wear this really bright orange, you may not feel your best in it. And you always want to feel your best. Now for me, I would wear the bright orange and rock it anyways, but that's just me. So the color that I have a problem with is yellow. Like, for whatever reason, I just don't really care for the color yellow. So for me, if I'm going to wear yellow, it's going to be a pale color. It's going to be in the pastels. I am a spring, so I tend to gravitate toward those anyways. But don't shy away from color. Just don't. So this crystal that you can use, again, we're going to go with quartz, or you can use halite to balance this. Again, some people say that white is for this crystal, or they're going to say purple. But you can also use amethyst to work with this crystal, or to work with this this chakra, carry that crystal. And the other thing too is wearing purple or gold. You know, that's going to really help you out too. Purple and gold are beautiful colors, and I always think of royalty with that. And if you think about it, if you think about a crown, what are you wearing? You know, the crown that royalty wears, nobility, however you want to say it. So think of purple, think of gold, even a blue. I mean, like really a vibrant blue. We could even kind of go there, an indigo blue. So, and the pose for yoga would be the lotus pose. So that's really what I have on the chakras. Thanks, Julie. Thank you so much. So yeah, those are the things that you can do for the chakras. Again, just make sure that you take note of how you feel. That's really the most important thing when it comes to knowing when you are balanced or you're not balanced. And yeah, royal blue, absolutely. I mean, it's the royal colors, and the crown is all about being royal, right? About being regal. That's kind of the way I like to look at it. So when it comes to meditation, if you want to start with your crown chakra and work your way down, or if you want to start with the root chakra and work your way up, when it comes to cleansing, by all means, feel free to do that. Do what works for you. Not everybody works the same. Not everybody likes to do the same thing. So do what works for you, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing. You know, it's all about you. It's your path, your journey. Do it your way. So with that, I'm going to thank you, Robin. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Devin. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all of you being here and supporting me through all of this. So have a great night, everyone, and have a great week. Next week, I'm looking at having a few guests on the show. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.